Hello guys, welcome to a new episode. We are in the final stretch for our test sequence and we want to show you some of the latest things we have done, like in this case, for example, where we have this material, we have just changed into black and white to simulate the way the light from the machine gun hits the robot that is firing it. And basically we have to animate the power of the light so that it can be turned on and off in each frame. Then here in HeatFilm, we will basically place the layer on top with blending type screen, and we'll apply a color temperature effect which is a quick way to give it a yellowish tint. In this case 3000 Kelvin, which gives it the exact warmth we need. We could have made a similar color within the material itself, but we just forgot it, but that's not a big deal. Now here we have an asteroid that receives a significant impact from a cannon shot from the Argos. And to create this effect, well, we basically had to take a complete asteroid that is eventually replaced by a copy that lacks all the area removed by the impact. So at the moment it receives the impact, one is replaced by the other, and then we obviously have to take the area that is destroyed and we apply the cell fracture effect to it and make it explode with physics. And to complement that, we added a particle simulation with some tiny fragments to complete the whole destructive effect, with particles from very large to very small. Here we are exploring how to generate an interesting effect for the countermeasures that the Argos launches to try to avoid the impact of the missiles. And among some of the things we were exploring, we tried some lens flares, and we found something that looks a lot like those 35mm lens flares with a very reddish tone that can be seen in films like Blade Runner or Close Encounters of the Third Kind, from the hand of a special effects legend, Douglas Trumbull. So we generated a preset that closely resembles those, and we intend to use it in several other moments of the film as a tribute to him. Here we are working on the smoke of the missiles, which is basically a particle emitter with fairly aligned particles to obviously generate the jet of smoke, with particles with the typical anime type shading we have been using so far. But then here we added an effect to soften the shading a bit, so that it doesn't look so harsh, and to give it a look more like the way smoke has been handled in some classic anime, with another layer on top and a blur filter and some transparency to give it a kind of fluffiness, let's say, that the typical flat color shading doesn't achieve. Here's the complete composition. You can see it along with the missile and the exhaust. And well, here we have the complete editing session. All the shots are here. It is actually just a fragment of the entire sequence, as it should be in the film, but it is enough to give an idea of what we have been working so far. And now, since we have the complete shots, we are polishing some details, and of course we are starting to work on sound, and more interestingly, music. We have some pretty nice things there that are going to complement it very well in terms of sound. Another thing we are trying is some post-production on the picture, so to speak, where we could maybe consider a bit of aging of the image, trying, for example, filters like a bit of noise, film grain, giving it a more photographic look, and taking away a bit of the hardness of the lines and softening the image a bit. We'll soon have the sequence finished and we will upload it for all of you to see. I hope you enjoyed it, because it has been a very beautiful piece of work for us, and it's an important starting point for what this project could be. We're going to keep working and we'll see how we'll show you the next developments. We'll probably keep making videos like this, so we'll see you soon. Take care and bye bye.